Hey, it's Jason with jamzDOTnet, cars, DIY, and adventures. Did you see this? If you're a historic car collector in the state of Maryland, you're going to want to pay attention, especially if those vehicles are registered in Maryland. The 72,000 car registrations of historic plates are going to be impacted. They're not going to be able to maintain historic plates. Maryland is changing the law. Right now, if your vehicle is 20 years or older, no problem, historic plates. No emissions, no inspection, significantly cheaper registration. The change means any vehicle now to qualify has to be 1999 or older. You won't be able to renew your vehicle unless it meets those requirements. So in my situation, I have two 2003 vehicles in my car collection on historic plates. I'm not going to be able to register them. I'm going to have to get a state inspection and emissions and pay double the fee. Maryland cites this is because of safety concerns, but when you dig into the data here, it's actually going to drive $6 million in revenue, and the state of Maryland is in a bit of a deficit, even though we had a surplus a few years ago. SEMA backs this, and SEMA basically says any efforts to help preserve our nation's rich car culture are important to consider and support. Maryland has doubled registration fees over the past 2 years from $67 to $120+. Now, I don't disagree. There's a lot of people of these 72,000 registrants that no doubt are not a car collector, or they're just not driving per se a classic car. Now, I think a classic car is has a bit of perception, right? I mean, what I consider a classic, you may not. You may hold your nose up and say it has to be 50 years or older. Now, I have a lot of Land Rovers in my car collection. An 03 L322 and a 2003 Silverado. The Silverado lives in the car collection simply to aid the car collection hobby. Occasionally I'll tow a vehicle with it. Occasionally I'll use it to pick up parts. Occasionally when I tow it to a show, I like to have something that's older, but not super old, but yet hopefully in due time will be a really good example of a preserved Silverado. The 2003 Land Rover, for most people, they'll say that's not even a car collector. That's not even a unique car. That shouldn't be in a historic vehicle. Again, that's all up to you and me to decide, right? I mean, what I'm deeming historic and what I'm deeming part of my car collection is a Land Rover collection which has an L322 with the BMW V8, which is the 03 L322. So what this means is I'm going to have to go get those both inspected. Let's be honest. They're going to need some work, nothing significant, but I'm probably going to have to do a few little things. I'm going to have to pay double the registration fee. And on top of all that, I have to get an emissions as well. The emissions is what worries me the most. I have a really silly evap error that pops up occasionally on the Silverado. Not a big deal, but it's not going to pass if that's there. So my position is, yes, there's people abusing it. I see Honda Civics. I see people like me with Silverados using them as a construction vehicle. 100% agree that there's people breaking the law when they say it's only in a car collection, or I'm only using it as a car show car or something, and they're using it as a daily driver. But what I would like to see happen, and this is what I would like your input on, why are we just putting a law out that's going to impact everybody that might have a significant car collection with some vehicles that are in preservation status in the car collection that may not seem that old, but yet they are acting as a vehicle in a car collection that's 20 years old. So I don't think we should just blanket this law and say it's going to apply to everybody. What I proposed was there absolutely should be a requirement and proof that you have multiple vehicles registered. In fact, I have a large car collector policy through J.C. Taylor, and I have to show that these cars in the policy stay in a garage, they're protected, and they're not my primary vehicle. So to get insurance on them, I have to prove that. So I don't know why I can't tell the MBA, hey, I have 3 vehicles that are my dailies. these cars are part of a car collection and I'm exempt. I also think there could be, annual mileage reports that you have to keep and maybe submit. Again, anybody could fudge it, but hopefully the bad actors will be eliminated. And your insurance coverage for those vehicles absolutely should be like a Haggerty, a JC Taylor, or something like that, because they do a lot of checks and balances to make sure the vehicle applies. I do think you have to have proper storage for the vehicle. So, hey, I have a collector car. It's a 2003. It's in preservation status being the Silverado. Well, that's not a collector car. Well, I get it, but I'm trying to preserve it. It's a part of a bigger car collection. Oh, look, I have adequate storage and facilities or a garage at my house. I think that just makes a lot of sense. And you probably should be able to show some evidence that you are an enthusiast and not just some guy trying to save a few bucks. So the law is already passed. So there's nothing I can do about it other than complain. I'm going to have to take the Silverado and do what I need to and double my registration fee to basically have a vehicle doing the exact same thing in my car collection, but that's what Maryland requires. And then I'm going to have to wait until, with it being 1999 or older, I'm not really sure how it's going to qualify because it would never be 1999 and older. So I guess next year it would be 2000 and older, maybe, or is it really a firm cutoff of 1999? And if that's the case, then legislation would be required to change that, and that means that truck will never qualify because it would never be 1999 or older. So those are some details that maybe but maybe I need to learn. But I'm a little disappointed by this. I feel like somebody sitting behind an Excel spreadsheet made the decision and said, hey, I can make a $6 million more per year. Bam! And they rolled it out. Maryland makes things hard enough on us. We pay a lot of tax, and this doesn't make it any more advantageous for me to keep my car collection registered in the state of Maryland. In any event, this is Jason with jamzDOTnet, cars, DIY, and adventures. Let me know what you think of this, and let me know what the laws are in your state. Am I just being a crybaby, or do I have a little bit of realistic concerns in what I've stated? Have a great day, and thanks for watching.